MicroGrid, we hear a lot about it. Well, maybe a little bit about it, but in San Leandro, Deborah, you guys are doing something. Why don't you tell us a little bit about InDERtel, as you called it?
The InDERnet. So the InDERnet is actually, when you think about how amazingly awesome the internet was about connecting us to the world, right? So the fast speeds and the fact that our cell phones are now almost as powerful as computers were 30 years ago, different things are happening. But the next movement is frankly what we call the InDERnet, which is DER, Distributed Energy Resources. And really what that is all about is recognizing that the future, in terms of our being able to gain control of our own energy future, means that we're going to have energy that's coming from our rooftops, that's coming from our parking garages. So when you think of solar and where it could go potentially, and where it isn't yet, the future is for utility companies to be able to connect all of these different resources together so that they can actually control and we can have renewable energy resources locally. So if you think about all the buildings in all of our cities, our industrial buildings, our commercial buildings, these items are the ones that use most electricity and create most of our greenhouse gases that are so difficult for us that is actually causing a lot of the global warming that we're seeing right now. So our solution in San Leandro is to create a citywide distributed renewable energy microgrid. And in very simplistic terms, it means a power plant on every parking garage and roof. In realistic terms, it means that we're taking existing technologies of hardware, sensors, of software, which drives the technologies that we actually use, big data, which is taking the data that's coming off the sensors and the software, and actually being able to make decisions that come off of that data. So where we see the future going is every building and every citizen connected to a clean energy platform where they're actually able to control their own energy usage. They're able to identify how they use energy. They're able to identify whether it makes sense for them to add energy, renewable energies to their own rooftop, or whether they could connect to somebody else's renewable energy. And the whole idea of distributed means we now have battery storage so that PG&E can now distribute the load. So again, InDERnet, distributed energy resources. The trick for all of our utility systems is how do they actually manage the grid and the load when you have all of this solar hitting at the wrong time of day usually, and how do they distribute that load? So how they're going to distribute it is through the use of fiber optics, generating tons of data so that they can figure out where the loads are and where the energy needs to be distributed to, so that basically energy now becomes a local resource on top literally of our own parking garages and our own roofs.
One of the things, and you touched upon this, is the whole idea of a signaling system, and you have that kind of fiber backbone to create this signaling system.
Well, that's really important for a number of reasons. One of the reasons that PG&E is partnering with the City of San Leandro and a company called Zip Power to build out this microgrid is because they see the security in that fiber optic system. So if you think about it, the country is divided into 3 major grids. Any one of those grids goes out and it's a disaster for that area of the country. There's about 55,000 transformers across the country. They've identified 9 particular transformers. Of those 55,000 go out, U.S. is without energy. That's a problem for us. So from a security point of view, our businesses need to know that they can be up and operating no matter what happens. So if we're able to generate our own electricity internally, and PG&E is working with us on that transmission so that energy can actually be traded back and forth to where it needs to go within our city, we now have control of our energy future. And that is absolutely huge and essential for the way our country needs to be going. And our cities is where all this is going to happen. We're the ones with the infrastructure. We're the ones with the buildings. We know our building owners. We have a sense of pride, and pride is going to actually be a big part of how you're going to be able to grow these energy systems within a certain zip code, zip power.
Well, and you mentioned that 25% of your buildings, if 25% of them sign up,
right,
that could produce 89% of your power or something?
So they actually, the data is that if 25% of just our industrial buildings, now San Leandro has 2,000 acres of industrial space that we have preserved. If just 25% of those buildings and property owners sign up, and that's not even the parking garages or the parking lots, just the rooftops, if 25% sign up, within 3 years we can generate 100 megawatts of power, which would replace 25% of San Leandro's electrical needs internally with local renewable energy.
So internally meaning the City of San Leandro?
The City of San Leandro. And working with PG&E, we now know that PG&E will be in back of this and working with us to this distributed energy future. So that's huge. To not have the utility fighting us, but instead is going, yes, this is the future. We're in. And by the way, if I didn't mention, this partnership got $1.5 million California Energy Commission grant to develop what we call the Zip Power system. It includes Zip Power, City of San Leandro, OSI Soft, our largest tech company, Lawrence Berkeley National Labs, PDE, Jelly, OSI Soft, and Cal ISO. So this is a really robust and integrated team that we believe is going to create an energy solution for cities that will, frankly, go across the United States and maybe further.
Well, excellent. I appreciate your time and good luck with this.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it.